All right, guys, what's happening, y'all? Your boy AJ back again. As I said, we're gonna go ahead in this video and install the GEPTuned 5.0 RAM air intake. So we're gonna start this process by, I'm not gonna film this, but I had to, for smog purposes, put some smog parts back on the car. We're gonna go ahead and I started to take a couple off now. We're gonna remove the rest of the stock intake pieces, and then I'll get set up and started with just the fitment on his intake. So let's get started. All right, guys. So I already told you guys I removed a couple of these stock parts off already. I'm wearing gloves because, I don't want my hands to get messy, but the bigger issue is that the car is hot. So, you're working with this, anything under the hood, if you've been driving the car, it's just best to do any work when the car is cold if you can, just to avoid burning yourself. So, yep, we'll use the gloves today. Let's go ahead and take this off. All right. I also have to take this hose off as well, since this is the stock hose that we'll replace with our catch can. So let me get this off. Let me get this hose off, and I'll get right back with you guys in 1 second. Hold on. All right. 3 hours later, we have this stupid clamp back. All right, guys. So we're here. We're gonna do this really simple, easy, step by step. Okay. So as you can see, I have the intake loosely fitted on, mocked up, and I also have my catch can loosely fitted on and mocked up how I like it. We'll get to that once we are finished bolting all of this down. But the first step before you even get to putting your oil catch can on or attaching your intake to the throttle body is removing all of the butterfly clips in this plastic shroud that you're seeing over here. So remove all of these butterfly clips and take this out so that the intake is able to sit under this plastic portion, this plastic trim piece, and look as close to OEM as possible, right? So make sure you do that. Once you're finished, use your butterfly clips and stick those in the places as needed. Obviously, you can see that there's 2 holes here to make sure the intake stays clamped down, and stick the rest of your butterfly clips in the additional slots that you can see on the plastic trim. So I'm going to go ahead and finish and complete that, and then we'll get back to you guys in just a second. All right, we've got each of these butterfly pins back on the plastic trim accessory. I'm missing a couple. I'm gonna go grab them after this. I shoot this video in my storage bin. But again, take your time, get your car looking back nearest to OEM. Don't take any stupid shortcuts or any silly shortcuts. Just get all of your pins back on how they should be. And once you've got your pins back on, now you're gonna see this GEPTuned silicone/rubber inlet hose connector that connects your throttle body to your overall intake. And you want to line this up. You might need to move this silicone hose up a little bit more to make sure that it's covering the gap. Once it's covering the gap, you make sure that your clamp again is also lined up relatively accurately and straight. You don't want your clamp to be up here, and then one part of your clamp to be up here, and then the other part is way down here, and it's chafing and eating at your silicone hose. So make sure this is straight too. Be meticulous. Don't rush through this. Okay. So once you've got this on and you've got it in a space where you can connect both this intake to your throttle body, you go ahead and just tighten up the clamp. And this isn't going to go anywhere. I'll tighten it up. One more piece, one more turn, half a turn, and boom. That's staying on it. That's not going anywhere. Perfect. All right. So now we've got the plastic shroud removed here. You've got your butterfly pins removed. You're able to stick your intake and slot it under this plastic shroud accessory so it can look near as OEM. You stick all of your butterfly pieces back in. You go ahead to your intake again, as I said. You stick this silicone inlet / rubber hose on. You might need to move this up a little bit with a flat head so that it is flush. You make sure that your clamp is also flush all the way around the top lip of the intake, and you go ahead and tighten as so. And then once you've got it tightened, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get this oil catch can on. Now I've got my oil catch can already mounted how I want it. What I've also done, since I noticed there was a little bit of rubbing, is I put a tiny little bit of insulation here as well. These are just like small little insulation strips, just so that no more scratching or rubbing occurs. And if it does move, it's just going to basically hit and bang into this. So I recommend just getting some small strips. Again, don't go crazy and, you know, put a blanket under here, because you don't want to create a fire hazard. But if you need a couple strips to, you know, keep a more thick layer to ensure that the catch can doesn't rub, I think that's going to look a lot better than just sticking a couple pieces of masking tape on there. So go ahead and get that set up. Make sure you have your out hose that is going to go straight and attach. I usually attach both of these to the strut bar because it curves the hoses better, and it also curves the catch can better so that it's not in a weird position, and it keeps these hoses away from the engine as much as possible. So again, you want your out to be kind of sticking out here, going all the way down here. That's going to come and go into your intake, this little inlet right here. So we'll get that on and we'll get that clamped. I'll show you that in a second. And then you want your in, which you can see right over here. So your in coming down here into your crankcase. And I don't have this tightened right now, so we'll go ahead and tighten both of those up as well. So let me tighten those up and I'll get back with you guys in a second with the final look. All right, guys, so we have everything fully set up. We have the catch can fully hooked up, everything tightened up. We also have our coupler to our intake, connecting our throttle body to our intake. And a couple things I've noticed, probably gonna get a little bit more hose insulation for these throttle body coolant hoses, just to ensure that they don't rub or anything, any heat is being reflected off of them to the intake. So you can see those hoses as well on this side, just those two hoses down there. Those two, the coolant hose that connects to the throttle body, as well as that other hose that is parallel to it. So those things I've noticed, I'll probably just get those. If I can find anything as well that is some type of shield or component that can keep heat out of here. Obviously the intake is black, it's not clear or white, so you want to try to, I'd be curious what the heat absorption is on a white or a clear intake. Maybe that's just for maybe your R&D purposes. But since it is black, just those are the things that I notice off the bat. Another thing I noticed is that it fits really well, but this coolant cap does rub. So I almost like to get a Dremel and Dremel down the coolant cap so that the coolant cap is not flying open if this decides to take a wobble or shift while I'm driving. So just for a fitment, just a small, slight fitment issue there. This is just a quick Dremel update. So that cap that you're seeing right there, I basically just got done dremeling it down a little bit so that it's much smoother and not rubbing up against the intake. I might Dremel it down even a little bit, tiny bit more, but that is kind of what I'm alluding to when I'm talking about dremeling that down, so you're not rubbing as the car is moving. But other than that, I think I mentioned earlier that I had the catch can potentially hooked up to this TCU. This is the fuel injection module, I'm pretty sure. This is not the TCU. The ECU and the TCU are in here. I'm going to do a video on how to unplug those, just in case for anybody out there that has no idea how to uninstall them. Pretty easy. It would be a simple, probably 2-3 minute video right after I finish shooting this. But yes, I'm pretty sure that this is the fuel injection module that is just supporting my catch can. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna most likely wrap this up, shoot that quick video right after this that I just spoke about regarding the ECU/TCU. Take the car for a butt dyno, see how it feels, and I'll report back, maybe do a little quick POV. If I have time, I'll include that in this video. So yeah, guys, that is my install and review of the GEPTuned intake. my review is going to be that the intake, I could definitely feel a power difference, especially in gears 3 to 4, as well as the power in gear 5. Like, you see that? Like, it just keeps pulling. Now I'm slipping a little bit, I think, in 6 and 7, but overall it seems like it's very strong. Now I'm obviously, you know, running at night where it's cool, so I'll have to try it in the day, give you guys an update. But just doing it one-handed right now. But that's my review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll just shift to the next clip. Make sure you guys don't forget to like the video, give it a thumbs up, man. Don't comment without liking the video. Give that video a thumbs up so that it can be seen in the algorithm. Make sure you hit the bell, subscribe so you're notified when I drop more content, man. And yeah, look out for more videos. We got more content coming, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.